I'm an African king and I deserve some respect from everyone.
So, this is the character we're going to be drawing. This character doesn't have legs, so we're going to fix legs somehow. But I'm going to delete this so we can import the character again. So to import a character, click on File, click on Import, and click on Image. So we select the character that we are importing. So we're likely importing this one. So we'll bring this in. Okay. So then let's get started. So here we have the head. In this first tutorial, we're going to be drawing the head of this character. And I'm going to be fast about it. So pay attention. You can play this video over and over again. So let's start with the head. So first thing first is I'm going to zoom up the head. But before then, let's reduce the size of the character to fit into the safe zone, the preview screen. So yeah, that's it. So I'm going to zoom this character to be very close like this. You can see the king is so strong, so mean, and so strong. So I'm going to be drawing this guy. This is not a simple character to draw because of the dynamics on the face, but please pay attention. You have just a few minutes to get this done. So first thing, I'm going to be creating a layer, a vector layer. Make sure you're on frame 0. Create a vector layer and we name it head. All right, so I'm going to draw I'm going to use a rectangle. I'll draw this. Now, I don't want this color, so I'm just going to make it, excuse me. So I'm just going to make it white, and then I'll fade off the color so it doesn't have any specific color for now. Now, let's be fast about this. We quickly shape out the head. For us to shape out the head, we use the add point tool. So I'm just going to use the add point tool, shape out the head of my character. So I'm just going to put this here. Make sure that every point you put on the right side, you put it on the left side as well. So yeah, so that's cool. I think we're good to go with the head. The head, we'll shape it more later on, but for now we'll just leave it like this. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take up another vector layer. I'm going to name it the eyes. Please pay attention to how I'll be drawing the eyes. In Moho 14, there's a better way of drawing your eyes. So, sorry, my throat is itching. So I'm going to have a circle to draw the eye. So let's have the circle, something like this. Be sure I'm recording. Let's have the circle. In this circle, we're going to have to shape this circle to look like the eye. So let's do something like this. And then we use the curvature tool to paint up the eye, make it look good. All right, so this looks fair enough. And then for us to draw the pupil and the eye shadow, I'll pick this up again and draw another circle, maybe something like this. And then I will bring it close. Then I'll use what is called the select shape tool. I'll select the shape and use the clip tool. You can see when you select the shape, you have the clip tool appear. But if you click on the transform shape, the clip tool is no longer there. But you click on the select shape tool and you select the shape, you can clip the eye into the circle. So I just did that, and then I'm going to copy and paste to bring up the eye shadow. So that's the eye shadow right there. We could still reduce the pupil of the eye. So we have something like this. Now I'm going to draw the eyebrow. You can see I'm moving with the speed of light. So I'm going to draw the eyebrow. Let's draw the eyebrow. So we have something like this. So we click on the transform point tool. I believe you're used to most of these tools. Click on the transform point tool and then we bring it down and bring it down. And let's see. So we have something like this and something like this, and of course something like this. So I'm just going to use the add point tool again to bring this up, and then we have some. So I'll use the curvature tool to curve out this part, curve out this part, curve out this part, and probably curve out this part as well. So we have something like this. I know some of you will be saying, oh, I could do this with AI. Well, AI has its limitation, and I think the limitations are much. But with this, you can do whatever you like, and you have enough time. There's no time restraint, unlike AI. You can control your stage, you can control your animation. So I think we're done with the first part of the eyes. So I'm just going to copy, oh my God. I'm just going to highlight everything, Control A, and then click on the transform point tool, Control C and Control V, and then I'm going to flip the eye the other way around, hold down my shift button and drag to the left. So now I have the two eye, ready to go. So I'll just make sure it fits exactly into the eye. And you can see that this drawing is not so perfect because the eyebrow is kind of closer to the head compared to this part. So those are some of the imperfections. We're going to fix that anyway. So I'm done with the eye. We create another layer, and then we create another layer for the nose. Alright, so let's quickly do the nose. Scroll up a bit. I'll draw the rectangle very quickly. I'll push this up, push this down, use the add point tool, and then bring this, and then bring this over as well. And we try to shape it. So it's all about shaping things to suit our desire, what we want to see. So you can see the shape coming up. Use the curvature tool, curve out this part, curve out this part, curve out this part as well, curve out this part, and curve out this part. So you curve it out a bit. So you can see everything is working perfectly. I might want to curve out this part as well. So I just curve it out and curve out this part. So we have the nose. But there's a tool I would like to introduce here, and it's called the hide edge tool. So it's just meant for hiding lines. So I'm going to hide this line. You can see you can hide it and bring it up like this. Come up, come up, come up. Yep, hide it, bring it up, hide it, bring it up. So I'm just going to hide it. And then let's move on. We're done with the nose. Let's talk about the ears before we go to the mouth. So I'm just going to create another vector layer, and then I'll just say ears. Okay, so this time I would say the right ears. So you find out why we need the right and the left ear. So we're going to make this very simple. This character is a bit complex. I wanted something simple, but I thought of doing something a little bit complex so that you can understand the complexity of drawings. But I don't want it to be too complex, so I'm going to keep some complexity and make it a little bit simple. So we have the ears, trying to shape it out just as usual using the add point tool, just trying to shape it out. So we're going to use the curvature tool somewhere here, and somewhere here, and here, and here. So I haven't done that. You want to give the inner part of the ears. All right, you can see the inner part. So I'm going to just use the freehand tool to draw the inner part of the ears. All right, so you can see I just drew the inner part of the ears. So now I have the right ears. All right, so I'm just going to highlight everything and copy it. Right, then I'll create another vector layer and name it left ear. So I'll just paste it and flip it over. All right, so I just put it there. So I have the right ears and the left ears. Now let's talk about the mouth. All right, so I'm going to create another layer for the mouth. You know why we have to create different layer for each part of the face, because you're going to want to animate each part of the face separately. So just watch as we create the mouth. So we create a big circle. Now in this big circle, I'm going to copy the circle and paste it. Then I'll shift it aside, click on the select shape tool, and I'll clip it just like I did for the eyes. So you can see we have the first part of the mouth. This part is going to represent, let's say, the tongue. I'm going to copy it and paste it again, and then now we have the teeth. So we're going to have the upper teeth and the lower teeth. But before we go there, I'm going to color this mouth deep pink. So let's deep pink, something close to red. And I want to bring up this color a bit just to be sure of what I'm doing. I'll make this one white. As usual, your teeth is always white, except you're gifted with a brown teeth, which is not bad, still a good one. So we have the tongue, which is always pink, sort of. So I'm going to make this. Then I'm going to copy the upper teeth, copy it and paste it so we could have the lower teeth. So all we just need to do here is probably just shape it up, make it look a bit cracky, right. So do the same for the upper teeth. Just shape it up, shape it up and shape it up. All right, so we almost done with the teeth. So that's the teeth up there, and this is the mouth. So this is the tongue. We could reduce the tongue. All right. So I'm going to just close the mouth. This king should just shut his mouth. So I'm going to just close the mouth, something like this. So close the mouth and close the mouth. All right, so the teeth should come down a bit, and then this one also. Now we make the mouth small because the mouth of the king is quite small. I wonder how he shouts. Okay, so we have something like this. Now, I don't want the mouth to be too complex, but we're just gonna do something a bit simple. But first, let me close the mouth completely. So I'm just gonna close the mouth completely. Now I'm going to use the freehand tool again to draw something like the lower lips. Oops, I'm going to do that. Draw it again. So we have something like this. I'm going to zoom it up and find out if there are too much points. Now I have much point than I expect. So I'm going to delete this one. I only need 3 points here to make my life easy. So let's have this. Use the curvature tool, align it, let it center on the mouth, do something like this, and then we might still need the curvature to bring this down a bit and bring this down a bit. I think this is fair enough, at least for now. I'm going to take out curvature from the edges. I don't need it there. Do the same for the other side. I don't need it there. I see why I shouldn't need it. So this, okay, let me still take out curvature here. Okay, take it out here as well. I'm still seeing some things there I'm not comfortable with. So let's do this. Maybe I just. Alright, so okay, I think this is fair enough. This out a little bit. Okay, so this is good for the mouth. We're going to leave the mouth like this for now. We might reduce the. Okay, we have the smallest edge. So I think this is okay for the mouth. So we're done with the mouth, we're done with the nose, we're done with the ears. Let's take a look at the king and see what we have. So this is what we have now. Now this might not really look like the king, but I tell you, if you look closely, you will see that, the guy looks mean, strong. Yeah, so this is fair enough. So I'm going to open up the, I'm going to turn on the king again, and then we're going to try to do more to make him look more like the king. So we need to put up the hair of the king. All right, so let's quickly do that. Vector layer hair. Please pay attention to this style of drawing the hair. Moho 14 actually make things quite easier. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. All right, just to this point. It should be black because the hair is black, but we'll fade it up. So we have something like this, and then we're going to shape the outer part of the hair. Sorry, just shape it, shape, 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 and bring this down. So you have something like this. All right, don't worry. I know what you're thinking, but we'll fix it. So we'll do the same for the other side of the hair. So we're gonna just shape it all the way down the same way we did for the other parts. So we just do this, and then we have this. So we have something like this. Now we're going to use what is called the subtract. So let's subtract the inner hair from the outer hair. So we have something like this. I'm going to make this white. It doesn't matter what color you do, make it anyway. So but let's just make it white, and then we subtract. We click on the subtract. All right. So now we are going to shape the hair of the king. So we're going to start from here. We start from here. We have this. We have this. Okay. So I might just change that anytime soon. But let's see what the king looks like with something like this. So we have this. Okay, so let's bring this down to this point. All right, so we are going to take out this one, this particular one. We don't need it there. Let's take it out. and then take this one out as well. Take it out. So it's going to end at the ear level while we allow this one come down a bit. Allow it come down a bit. Still come down a bit. Watch this part of the tutorial carefully. You can always watch it over and over again to get used to this part. All right, so having done this, we are done with with the um, with the face of the king. Let's turn this off and see what it looks like. You can see the face of the king is coming up, but I'm gonna have to adjust this hair. I don't think I like the way it's looking. So the hair of the king is not actually visible. So we're just imagining this to draw the hair, and the hair will not be visible when the king wears the crown. This part of the hair, anyway, will not be visible when the king wears the crown. So we are just going to leave it like this for now. Okay? Maybe we'll try to work on it when we want to animate the king taking off the crown. But for now, we will just assume this is the hair of the king. One more thing, we need to adjust the head to make sure that the head doesn't jump out of the hair. So click on the head layer like this, and then try to bring in the head to make sure it doesn't jump out of the hair. All right, I think that's cool. So I'll just save this. Remember to save your work is very important. I'll say the new king. I actually drew it before, but for some reason I didn't record it properly, so I have to do it again. So I'm just going to save this as the new king. So I'll just save it. All right, so let me see if I have the one I drew. So this is, okay, no. So this is the one I drew before, but it wasn't properly recorded. So I cannot show you how I did this, but so that's why I have to do it again. So this is the king. This is where we're going actually, but this is how it's going to be like for now. So, but this is the end product. So let's get the ball rolling. Let's continue from where we stopped. So I'm just going to put the beads here. So we'll create another layer, vector layer, and we'll name it. So we're going to be dealing with the right teddy bear and the left teddy bear. So we're going to name it right teddy bear. All right. So let's turn on the king image and start drawing. Excuse me. So now we have the king here. We're going to draw this right beard. Oh my god, why is it giving us pink? Okay, so we just change it to black. Simple and sharp. And we fade it out. Take out the opacity. Okay, so I'm just gonna put out the beard, something like this. There's a little curve there. We're gonna work that out. So I'm just gonna do this, and let's just pull this back a little. Bring this here. Add some more points, and we have this. We could add one more point and bring this here and here and here and here. So this is going to be the right beard. So let's have this somewhere here. So let's have this here. Could also let's see, could even zoom this closer so we could see what we're doing. So let's bring this down here, and then we'll put this here. So let's make some adjustments. So here and here and here and here. So in this right beard, I'm going to cut this part into two, so they're still going to work together. So I'll just put this. I'm just trying to make this come this way. I've never even drawn this character before. This is the first time I'll be drawing this character. So just testing it out to see what will come out of it. So let's have something like this. Have something like this. So we have this and this. Right. So now we're going to use the curvature to do some curves. But before then, let's adjust this beard. Bring this down. still come up here. You can see all of the adjustments that we're trying to make. I'm going to come up here. This is where the teddy is supposed to stop, so I'm going to come up here and leave it here. What else? I think we're good to go. I'm going to still bring this up a little. Okay, so having done this, we're going to create the left teddy bear. So let's create the left teddy bear, another vector layer, and name it the left teddy bear. All right, so I'll go to the right teddy bear and cut it out. So I'll just cut, yeah, I'll just copy it, go to the left teddy bear and paste it and flip it over. And so I'll hold down the shift and properly drag to the left. So I'll just make sure it stays on the left. So let's bring this up here, and we might want to reduce the curvature strength. I'll increase this one, and then I'll reduce this one. Alright, so I think we're good to go. It wouldn't hurt if we move this down a little so they can be a little overlapping. I think that's fine. Now we're going to deal with the lower beard. So I'm going to call this lower beard, or just the beard. So that's the main beard down there. So I'm just going to get a box, and then I'll just do this. So this lower beard, yeah, so we're just going to move this down and move this down this way. Get some add point tool, move this down a little, and then oops, we bring this here, and then so this is going to be a lot of not really curve, but just bending. Bring this down and this up and this down and this up, this down, and just like that. Then we still push this beard down the path, because you can see that the beard goes down the path. So I'm going to push it down the path, make sure it stays on the line. Yep, so we push this one up, and then we make sure this comes this way. We could add another point somewhere here. Then we do the same to this one, make sure it comes here. You can see that the beard still stays, the main beard still stays within the confine of the inner beard, so they won't intersect. And even if they intersect, it's fine, because they're still the same beard. Just trying to separate the activities of the two beards. Okay, I think we're good to go with the beards. What else? So we're going to talk about the earrings. So I'll go back to the ears. Then I will just let me do the right ear. So I'll just draw the earring for this right ear. So how we're going to do that is I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to draw a circle like this. We are going to paint the circle to be a gold color. I hope I'm able to get out the gold color. Let me make it gold first. I think this is a gold color. Make it a bit yellowish gold. So yellowish gold. So I'll just leave it at this. Alright, so now that we have this circle as the earring, I'm going to copy the same method, but this time we'll be using another kind of tool, and that tool is called the subtract tool. It works similarly like the clip tool, but a little bit different. So let's just look at it together. So I will subtract this one from the inner one, so we have something like this. So you can see it has been subtracted. So I just bring it in like this. So let's take it really I'll just add some form to this one, close it up a little, like this, and like this. Okay, so we have something like this. So I might just want to zoom this out a little bit. Like I said from the start, I'm not going to draw the earrings perfectly, because I'm trying to make this tutorial as simple as I can. So let's do this and let's do this. So we have something like this. I'll push this. Oh, okay, let's just leave it there. So we want to make it join with the ears, so it looks like the young man is wearing the earrings. So just push this up a little and push this back a little, push this up a little, just like that. Yep, let's add some more points and push this up a little. So this should help us with the earrings. Not as perfect as I would expect, but for now, let's just make do with this. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on this, and then I will copy everything. Control C, Control A, then Control C. I would go to the left ear. I'm going to delete what I have there, and then I'll paste this one. I'll flip it over, hold down the Shift button, and move this down to the left. So I might just want to make sure it fits in exactly. So let's zoom in to make sure that, okay, something is not right, but in that we could just adjust this one first. We go deal with that one later on. So we go back to the right ear. You can see that the right ear shifted position. Bring it back to the right position. And then we adjust the ears itself. There's a little misunderstanding somewhere there. That's it. Alright. So I think we're good to go with the ears. So the ears is fine. What else do we need to deal with? We need to deal with the shades of the face. So you can see the shades make the king look kind of mean, like he's angry or something. So I'm going to get another layer somewhere there and name that layer shading. All right, so I'll zoom in on the face, and then I'll just, oops, I'll draw a circle. All right, I know it's giving me the yellow color. We don't want it to be yellow. Of course, it's going to be brown at the end of the day, probably a deep brown that's close to black. But even at that, we'll still make it transparent. Something darker, but we'll make it transparent for now. So I'm just going to do that again. So make it a deep brown and make it transparent for now. So now let's deal with the shade. So we have this one here. I don't even think there's much to shade, just a simple shade. So this guy comes here, and then we have this. So that's a simple shade right there. We might want to use the curvature to pop in here. This one should not be too cool. Okay, so this is cool. Yeah, so now let's look at the other shades we have in the face that makes this king looks a bit mean. So we have some shade here. This is not a shade anyway, these are just lines. Okay, so you'll be wondering why I'm not drawing for the other side of the face. I'm sure by now you should know what's going to happen to those guys. I'm just going to duplicate, and then I'm going to I'll duplicate, and then I'll just paste to the other side, so you should be used to that by now. So we have all the shades that is needed. What else? Just going to adjust this shade a little. Not that one actually. This one. Let's adjust it a little. Of course, it's already outside the face. So, oh my God, what's that? How did that happen? What's going on there? Yes, okay, so thank God that happened. And Jesus, that happened just coming from church. Yeah, so there are lots of. Okay, so just get rid of those things, we don't need them. So I'm just gonna carve out this part. Alright, so that's cool. I hope we don't have these issues of, so let's zoom in and check out for little mistakes here and there. So this shouldn't be too obvious. I'm going to reduce the width of the lines. Let's see if that would work. Okay, that didn't work, so I'll just do it one after the other. Like this one, it should reduce the width of this line. Reduce the width of this line. Reduce the width of this line. And I'm not even sure that this one should be more than 1 point. Okay, it should just be 1 point, just delete 1 point. Is there another point there? No, I don't think so. Even this one, I don't see the need for the middle points. Delete it. So we just have 1 point and 1 point. So we have the first part of the left part of the shape of the eye. So I'm just going to select all, click on the transform point to select all, copy and paste, and flip to the other side, hold down the shift and drag it to the other side. So it will just give me the same shade. And then we could just make a little adjustment here and there. So I'll leave it here for now. Zoom on the shade, and then we make some adjustments. So let's see. So change some things here. I need to make a little adjustment. Alright. We'll do the same here as well. Make a little adjustment. So I think this is good to go. We're good to go here. The nose Alright, so I think we're good to go. So the last thing we want to draw is the crown. So I'm just gonna let's put the crown. The crown should be at the top of everything. The crown should come at the top. That's all there. We need crown. Okay, so we're gonna draw the crown of the king, of our precious king, our handsome African king. So I'm just going to put this here and this here. We have a little curve in and out, curve in, out, and in. Alright, so let's shape it to fit in. I'll just highlight everything here. Is the transform point, so and drag and all that. Do the same on the other side. Highlight everything. Use the transform point tool and drag and all that. So here we could use the curvature tool to curve this out and also curve this out. Alright, we curve out some other parts of the crown as well. So we have a cool crown. Not as perfect as we would want it, but at least it's something. So let's start adjusting the crown. At this point, I might need to zoom up so that use the reset. You zoom in there. So this point I'm going to make sure you follow the tutorial. You can watch this tutorial over and over again, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, comment on this, so that could help the algorithm of the video to spread faster. And I can also answer your questions when you comment, and if you want me to do a particular tutorial, just put it in the comment section. So we have this and we have this. Alright, so this is part of the crown. I'm going to draw another part of the crown. That would be triangle. So I'm just going to put this in. Probably take this in or out. And then let's have a little curve somewhere here. Alright, so we have a little curve here. Maybe not curve per se, but just something close to a curve. Okay, so I think this is good. Just copy this. Flip this down a little. Right. Copy and paste and flip it to the other side. And then we put it somewhere here. Copy and paste it and put it here. Bend it a little. Copy and paste it, flip it, hold it down and put it down here. You might want to bring down this crown and this one. Alright, having done that, we are going to draw the precious stone on the crown. Sorry, the precious stone, which is the circle not a perfect circle anyway. And the color, of course, is not black. So we have something like this. Alright, so I'm going to copy this, paste it, and then we have this. And then this is going to be red. So that will be red. And then we have a white shadow on the red. So let's do something with the white shadow on the red. So the white shadow should be somewhere around here. So I'm just going to make this white. Now all of these are hidden for now. So I'm just going to copy this one, copy it like this, and put it here. So let's just put it here. Alright, I know it's not sitting perfectly, but okay, that should be fine. So now we deal with the other precious stones on the crown. I'm just going to draw one circle, and I will just make it, let's try to see, yeah, this color should be fine for the circle. So I'm just going to put it down here. Alright, copy and paste. Alright, so all of this as well, copy and paste it. Bring it down here. So all of these that I'm drawing is just the crown. Okay, so copy and paste again. Put it down here. Copy and paste again. Put it down here. You could reduce this a little, just to fit into that. Alright, so I'll copy and paste again. I'll do the same. Bring it down here. Copy and paste. Bring it down. You could reduce a little. Copy and paste. Bring it down here. Alright, then I'll still copy this one again and paste it, and probably oops. So I'll copy this. Okay, so I'll just copy this and paste it and put it down here, where I'll just reduce it. Now this one is not blue, so I'm going to change this one to red. Change it to deep red. All of these things, we're still going to bolden them to make them bold. So, but for now, we're just trying to draw. So you have to learn to draw with your imagination. I'm not going to do all of these details for now, because I don't want the crown to be too complicated. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now, for some reason. Especially when you want to do the head tone. Some of these things are going to, they're going to need to change in a way. So I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. So just bear with me. I don't want to make it too complicated. So for now, we're still going to draw simpler images. But for now, let's just leave it this way. So at this point, I think we're through. We might want to also draw the neck as well. But I'm going to draw the neck somewhere down here. So let's just label this one the neck layer. So this is going to be the neck. Alright. So this man is a very muscular man, very huge, so he's going to have a huge neck. So I'm just going to put this here and put this here and bring this in a little and bring this in. We need to use the curvature to curve out the neck, and put the neck in the head. It's very important. You might want to add maybe something like this. It's not necessary though, because it's not going to show anyway. So, but just for tutorial's sake, let's just add it. So bring all of this in. All right. So having done this, the head layer is complete. So now let's start working on it and bring up the image. So this is the king. This is our king. All right. You can see the skeletal part of the king. So let's make the image come to reality. So one of the first things that we need to do is to get the color shade of the image, okay? So I'm going to take this image to Photoshop. So let me just bring up Photoshop. So I'll take the image to Photoshop video. So you can always use the color code. I'll drop the color code in the description. So let's have it on Notepad or on WordPad. So we have the skin color. So let's have this. Close this. So that's going to be the skin color right there. So I'm going to be using this to pick the skin color. First of all, let me zoom in properly. Alright, so here is the skin color. You can also pick from here. Now this is the skin color. So I'm going to put this on WordPad. That's the skin color. We have the ash right there. So I'm going to add that to the description of this video. So we're going to use that to paint the skin. Okay, so we go to the head layer. We go to the head layer. We click on the head layer. Don't worry about what you're seeing. Everything will come to life. All right, that's the skin color. We increase the opacity, and that takes out a lot of things. We go to the nose layer because those are the parts that, you know. So we paste the skin color there. We increase the opacity. We go to the ear, the right ear and the left ear. This is the left ear, I guess. So, okay, no, that's the left ear. So this is the right ear. I mean the left ear. So we increase the opacity. Alright, this is the right ear. I would have used the high dropper, but sometimes it always doesn't work the way I expect it to work, so that's why I'm trying to avoid it. But I'll use it anytime soon. So we go to the eyes. So right here we want to change the color. First of all, of the eyebrow, we change it to black. We increase the opacity. We do the same here. We change it to black and increase the opacity. Oops, change it to black. Increase the opacity. Now the eyeball, we change that to white and increase the opacity. Okay. The pupil of the eye should be black. Increase the opacity. Okay, so we change the pupil shadow to white and increase the opacity as well. Good. We'll do the same to the left, white and increase opacity. So drawing this king is tasking because the king has a lot of shades and complexity here and there. So try to wrap it up as fast as possible and still make you understand it. So it's coming up little by little. Now we deal with the hair of the king. So let's quickly talk about the hair of the king. That's the hair layer. We go to the hair layer. We use the select shape tool. By the way, to change color, you use the select shape tool. You click on the shape and then you increase the opacity. I think the hair is already black, so just increase the opacity of the hair. Right? So we have the king coming up gradually. Now we talk about the beards of the king. So I'm going to just click on the right teddy bear of the king and make it black, and then increase the opacity. The left teddy bear of the king, make it black as well, and increase the opacity. Okay, and then the main beard, that's the beard of the king as well, we make it black. I know you're confused, like what's this, what's going on? Just watch. And then we increase the opacity as well. Let me check which one is this. So there's still one of them there. Okay. Okay, that's the neck. Okay, so the neck should carry the color of the skin. So I'm just gonna click here and paste the color and increase the opacity as well. So everything is good to go, except for the crown. So let's quickly rush down to the crown layer. Do the same thing. I'm going to go back to Photoshop, get the color of the crown. So that's the color of the crown right there. I hope this is the right color. So I'm going to copy this right? I'll paste it on the notepad as the crown color, right? And then the hair color as well. The hair color is just black, 00000. So the hair color is black. Okay, let's go back to the crown color. Alright. So I'm going to select this part of the crown, paste the crown color and increase opacity. So we start. Now I can use the eyedropper. I forgot to use the eyedropper, but I'm going to use the eyedropper now to start picking up all the colors right there. You can see the colors coming out. You can actually pick up everything at once, but just want to do it one after the other. So to use the eyedropper, click on the select shape tool, select the shape first, then click on the eyedropper and pick the color. Okay, so for all of the colors, you need to increase their opacity, because if you remember quite well, we reduced the opacity of everything we're doing. I'm going to give this a dark shade. Now I'm going to click on the middle one, which is the red, increase the opacity, and then the white, increase the opacity and remove the white, the border. So click on draw and raise this shape, let it come to the front. I think the opacity is down, so I'm going to have to increase the opacity as well. So here I could use the soft head edge shading to soften up the edge a little. Let me do that again. The soft edge. Okay, so I don't know, that didn't quite work out well. Let's see that again. So let's reduce it. Okay, so this is fair enough. Let's increase the opacity of this one. Okay, so now all of this one, we just increase the opacity. I think the colors are already right. I'm going to try to put those colors. We'll try to put those colors in. I think those ones are red. We'll try to put the color of those things. In the description of this video. Trying to hurry up so we meet up with time. So we just try to draw the head of the character. So increasing the opacity for all of the shapes. Increasing the opacity for all of the shapes. The advantage of drawing your own character is that you have full control over your character. Alright, you have full control over your character. You can make your character do whatever you want. So that's the advantage of drawing your character. Now you can see the king is coming up quite well, but there's still something. You can see the beards are kind of shooting out of the face. So that's what we want to adjust. So for us to adjust that, we're going to create a layer called the group layer. So we're going to name it head group. Alright, so the head group will drag everything into the head group except for the neck. For now, I'll just leave the neck out of it. So I'll drag everything into the head group. So if I turn off the layer, the head group layer, everything goes off. So that tells you that everything is in the head group. Now I'm going to double click on the head group, and then I'm going to click on masking, and then I hide all. But before I apply this, I'm going to show you something. Now you will discover that everything in the head group is sitting on the head. So the head is what's housing everything, right? So for you to use the mask, everything must be on the, I'm going to say the head is the platform. So everything must be on the platform. Let's just say the head is the platform. Everything must be on the platform or on the background before you apply the masking so you see, everything is masked in the head. Now, we are going to start telling the masking that some particular things shouldn't be masked. So let's start with the crown. The crown shouldn't be maxed, so take out the crown. The hair shouldn't be maxed, so don't mask this layer. The beard, the main beard, the lower beard shouldn't be maxed as well. So, oops, sorry about that. So don't mask this layer. Now, the teddy bear should be maxed, so we leave that. The ears shouldn't be masked, so the mouth should be masked, but the right ears and the left ears shouldn't be masked. So just leave that out, leave that out, and then we have something like this. So you can see the king is back. Um, it took some time, but you can see that this is the exact resemblance of the king. Okay, I'm going to extend the neck a little. He's a huge guy, so he has a huge neck. Okay, so just a little. So you can see the king being properly drawn. If I show you the image of the king, just very similar. So let me minimize this one. Let me just put it side by side so you can see. Let's take this in, bring this out, and then you can see the two king. Just a little difference. The mouth, this other one is looking like seriously hungry because the shape of the mouth is quite intimidating. But this other one is just hanging there. Though he's also angry, but and there's one thing that I see here, and that's the shade of the nose. So we're gonna go to the nose layer and add a little shade to the nose layer. Like I said, I'm trying to avoid complexity, so that's why I'm taking it easy on some things. So I'm going to add a little shade to the nose layer. So change this to dark. Let's just make it black. Alright, so I'll just copy this part, paste it here, do the same. So I'll send this to the back, click on draw. You do this when you are on the same layer. This will work for the same layer. So I'm going to take out the lines, all right. You could increase the opacity a bit, and then we could also use a soft edge as well. So the soft edge that was too much. So we could reduce the soft edge. Just reduce it so that, okay, so at 1, put the software to 1. So do the same thing here. The reason for 1 is because the image is quite small, or the drawing is quite small, so anything lesser than 1 will not be obvious. Even now it's not obvious, but yeah, that's the technicality of drawing. Alright, so after drawing the head, what we want to do is we're going to be animating the head first. So I'm just going to create the vector layer somewhere here. No, not the vector layer, sorry. I'm going to be creating the bone layer. So we'll drag everything into the bone layer, or I think that would be better just for now. Drag everything into the bone layer. So drag everything into the bone layer, except for the neck. We might want to put the neck outside the bone layer for some reason. So every other thing, sorry, the neck should also be in the bone layer. The neck should be in the bone layer, but what I was trying to say was we might want to take the neck outside the head group. So just something like this, but still in the bone layer, please. So we'll click on the bone layer. We could name this bone the African king or whatever you choose. I can change it anytime soon. So we'll draw, the first thing we draw is going to be an anchor bone. All right. And then we draw the neck bone and then the head bone. So having drawn this, then we have to draw the bones that we'll use to animate the head. All right, so get ready for that because it's a little bit complex. So now we're ready to draw the head bone because there are lots of bone that must be drawn on this head. So let's get started. Now for the mouth, so before you start drawing, you click on the head bone. This head bone, I would prefer that it's extended beyond the head. So for the mouth, let's draw. Okay, if we do for the eyes first, so we're going to draw a bone that will control the eye. So let's put the bone somewhere here. Alright, I'm going to zoom this a bit closer. We're going to put the bone in the same, let's just put it here. For some reason, let the bone be there. So while this bone, we could reparent this bone if it's not parented the proper way. We could reparent it this, so that means it's parented the proper way. So now while this bone is selected, we'll draw another bone that will control the eye lashes. Alright, so that will control the eye lashes. So this one we could just move it down, let it just join with this. While this one extends down here, and then this one also extends down here. While this is also selected, we do the same for the left eye. So we have the bone like this and like this. We do the same for the left. Okay, we've already done that. So we're going to draw for the eyeballs. I want to zoom this closer. So I'm going to draw a bone that will control the pupil. Let's draw a bone that will control the pupil. So we have this. We do the same for the left eye as well. A bone that will control the pupil. So we have this. Now a bone that will control the eyeball itself. All right, so I'm still going to do something like this. So this bone will control the eyeball itself. Just going to put that somewhere here, and then I'll do the same. So I'll put that somewhere here. Now you would notice that the whole bone here, they are all joined to this center bone. All right, so this center bone controls everything. So wherever the center bone goes, the whole bone goes along with the center bone. Okay, so having done that, let's talk about the nose. So here is the nose. I'm just going to click on the main bone. All right, then I'll draw the bone for the nose. I'll do the same for the mouth. I will click. So for this neck bone, let's deal with this neck bone a bit. This neck bone is let's see. Let me reduce this neck bone. Reduce the neck bone because the neck bone goes along with it. So let's just drag this. Shrink this bone down a little bit. And then I want to, okay, that's it gets to the top. So I'm just going to move every other bone that I've drawn. I'm trying to do something now. I'm trying to move the bones up. So let's move the bones up. Alright, then I'll move only this one. this one down. Sorry for this complication. Okay, I'm having a little issue here. I hope I'm able to fix it. Let's see. So let me move this one up. Move this one up to this point. Right, move this one up to this point. And then the nose as well. I'm going to move to this point. And then I'll click on this one and draw a bone for the mouth. So just draw a bone for the mouth. And then I would also draw okay, so all of the beards, I will draw a bone for, I don't know if I should draw a bone for the beards. I think I should. I'll draw a bone for the right beards and the left beard. So let's click on the head bone again. And then I'll draw a bone for the right beard. Everything on the right side. Control this, and then click on this again. And then everything on the left side would control this. So, having done this, so all the bones that are needed to make this face function properly has been drawn. However, the ears might also need its own bones. So I'm just going to do that. I don't usually draw bones for ears, but let me just do that now. So I'll put one more bone here, and then one more bone here. So we have 2 bones for the right and 4 left ears. So this has properly been drawn. You can see the complexity of the face. So the more complex your face is, the more you would have to spend time rigging the face. So if you want your drawing to be simple, that means your face rigging is going to be very, very simple. Okay. So also the crown. I think I should draw another bone for the crown to control the crown, so the crown can move properly. So let's draw another bone to control the crown. I'm sure you'll be wondering, wow, this is a lot. So let's draw another bone to control the crown. So here is the bone to control the crown. I'm sure that bone is selected like this, and then draw the bone to control the crown. Right. So now let's start rigging. To start rigging, we start from the head. In fact, that is where the most difficult part of the rigging is. As you can see, drawing the bones around the head is not easy. So let's start rigging, and then we rig from the head. First thing, I'm going to take out this style, the coloring panel. We don't need it for now, so let's take it out. So we could have just the head. I'm going to see if I can change the color of this. Let's see. Try to change the color. Okay, let's do this first. This. So for the head, we would have something like this. Drawing. So now we have the head layer painted blue. Okay, so the body, we could use another color, let's say an orange. Leave it at this for now. Now let's get started with rigging the head. Okay, let's get started with rigging the head. So if I click on the head, I have the crown and every other thing. First thing first, I'm going to bind the head to the head bone. All right, so let's bind the head to the head bone. So to do that, we're going to be using point binding. There are two types of binding. You have point binding and then you have layer binding, but we're going to be using point binding. So I'll select the head bone, right? I click on the head layer. I select all of the points. I click on bind points, select all of the points on the head layer. I'm currently on the head layer. Then I click on bind points. Okay, I think I need to bring back Okay, so click on the head bone, click on bind points or point bind. All right, then you select all of the points and click on the bind point. Once you do that, the points become bigger. Okay, now for the rest of the binding, we've got to zoom this a bit closer. Okay, we zoom it a bit closer. So we start from the crown. We start from the crown. We have a little bone at the top meant for the crown. So we're going to click on that little bone. And then we are already on the crown layer. We select all, click on point binding. We select all the crown and then we bind. Okay. Now, we're going to bind the next thing, which is the hair, right? The hair will bind it to the head bone. So that's not much of an issue. So we just bind the hair to the head bone. Click on point bind, select all parts of the hair and bind it to the head bone. We'll do the same for the beards. For the beards, I would have loved to create another bone for the beards, but I will just bind it to the mouth bone. All right, so that's the beard right there, and this is the mouth bone. So just click on the mouth bone, and then select all of the beards and bind. Now we have the left teddy bear. So we're going to click on select bone. We select the left teddy bear, which is this one, and then we select the bind point and bind everything. Select all the parts, which is Control A, and then we bind it to the left teddy bear. For the right teddy bear, we select the right teddy bear, we select the bind point, and then we select all and bind it to the right teddy bear. Right? Now, the next thing is the mouth. We select the mouth bone, which is this one, and then we select the bind point, select all of the points in the mouth and bind it. The next thing is the left ears. We select the left ear bone. We click on the bind point for the left ear and we bind it. Do the same for the right ear. Select all the points and bind. Now for the nose, select the bone for the nose and then select all the points and bind. Do the same for the eye. But for the eye, we are going to do a lot of technicality. So I'm going to zoom it closer so you can see what you do. Now for the eyes, we will start with the pupil. Not necessarily start, we could start anywhere though, but we just for this tutorial we'll start with it. So click on the right pupil, bind point, and then we'll click, hold down the shift click on the pupil, the inner pupil, click on the pupil shadow and bind, right? Now we do the same for the left. Click on the left bone, hold down your shift, click on the inner pupil and on the outer pupil and bind. Now for the right eye again, click on the right eye bone, which is this one. That one will control the eyeball itself. And then you just click on the eyeball and bind. Okay? And for the eyebrow, we could click on this one. And then we will just highlight everything on the eyebrow like this. Oh no, just highlight everything like this and bind. Now for the tail part of the eyebrow, which is this side, just highlight just this part alone and bind. We do the same for the left side. Click on this and then we highlight everything and bind. Do the same here. Click on this and then we highlight just the tail part right here and bind. Okay. To make things easier, we are going to bind the shading as well, but we're going to bind it in a very technical way. So we have some shadings by the right side and by the left side, and when you look up and down, the shading goes along with it. So click on the shading, then I would select this one right here, and then I would select this part of the shading, right? And then I could also do this for this part of the shading. I could bind it to no, I don't want to bind it here. I will just let's see how that would work. Okay, let me do something here. Alright, so I'm just going to create another bone somewhere here. Alright, I'll do the same for the left. Create another bone somewhere here. So that will automatically control that part of the shading. Okay, so I'm going to click on this one and then we go back to the shading. So let's click on this one and then we click on this. Alright, so we bind it to that bone. Click on this bone. So bind it to that bone. So that this bone controls that, while this one is controlled by this one. All right. Now let's do the same at the left side. So we click on this bone. This bone will control this shading, while this bone will control this shading. This bone. So we have the nose bone now. What do we do with this guy? So this bone should control the two. Of them. I hope we don't run into problems dealing with those two guys there. So, but let's just leave that for now. Now, as for this other side, this bone will control this shading right here. So we just put this here, and same thing, put this here, and go back. Alright. Next, the last thing is the head, which we've already done. And then the neck. So let's see how we could deal with the neck. Neck is the last thing down here. I'm just gonna click on the neck bone, which is this one. Is that the neck bone? No, that's not the neck bone. This is the neck bone. Then we just select all of the neck. Okay, so now the head has been ripped. Let's try. Oh, we have a lot of bone strength here and there. So we need to reduce the bone strength to 0. Just make it completely 0. So now let's try to see. Okay. One part of the eye is going through issues. Let's go and check it out. So go to the eye layer. So we zoom it up. And then we have this. Still zoom it a bit. Very strong face. This one. Then we just click on this and bind it. So I think that should solve the problem. This is the neck bone, so that should solve the problem. So the bee king can shake its head, but this is just part of the work. We're still going to do something here before we start binding other parts of the body. There's much to be done on the head because the head is the most difficult part to bind. So we are going to do what is called the head turn of the king. Okay, so to animate this crown, we might need to make some little adjustment to the crown. So we're going to create a vector layer for each of this crown, for each of the strands of the crown. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to create 5 different vector layers. So let's say we have 1. So we do crown 1. Alright, we do another 1. Or better still, we make this one the front crown. So we say front, which is the middle one, and then we do another one. So this is crown 5. Alright, so we're going to go back to the first crown, which is this one. So we start picking out all of the strands, like this one. I'll cut it out. I'll put it in crown 1. Right? I'll go back here, cut this one, and the ball, cut it out. I'll put it in crown 2. Put it in crown 2, I'll go back. I'll pick this one, pick the ball, pick the second ball. I'll cut it out and put it in the center crown. I'll go back here. I'll cut out this one and this one. I'll cut it out and put it in crown 4. I'll come back here and do the same. Cut, put it in crown 5. So I just push this command. First of all, I think the shorts not masked. So don't mask. Alright. So let's see. Okay. This group layer is not even doing much. So I will have to take this one. So I'm trying to check for, okay, this is the crown. So I'll put this one here, close to the crown. Yep. And then this is the group. I'll put the group somewhere here. Alright. So I can bring this and this into the group. So I can turn this off and on, and then now I can mask this. Okay, now I have this one. I'm going to have to tell the system not to mask these ones. So now you have this king. So if you need to move any of this crown from crown 1, you can see they are individual now. They can move on their own. So now let's go back to the head sound. So move this way at frame 24. We want the, so I'm going to turn off all of the crown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I'm also going to so this one first, I'm going to turn off this one as well. So first of all, this crown, I want this crown, this particular I want it to move alongside. There was a bone I assigned for the crown. I'm trying to search it out. I think this is the bone. So I'm going to come back here and give that bone specifically to this diamond. And I'm seeing some things there. I need to remove all of the bone string. So I just click on this one and click on this diamond. Click on the bind forward, select all of the points and bind. Okay, make sure it's properly bound. Go back to there. So at this point, I want this diamond to move. I want the bone to control this diamond. So this diamond should move. This diamond should move this way. Okay. So this diamond should move this way. And then now let's talk about the crown. So I want the diamond to move. Alright, so let's make sure that the diamond is on the same point with the other things. So let's talk about the crown. The crown will also move, but in a systematic way. So let's stretch this part of the crown. Stretch it. Let's stretch the other part as well. Oops. Now, let's do that properly. Stretch the other part as well. And then the balls. The balls will move. I'm going to move them one by one. So I'm going to just move it. One. Excuse me. So then this one comes along all together. So I'm just going to move them like that and then straighten them out. Okay, now let's talk about the crowns. So you have crown 1, crown 2, crown 3, crown 4, and crown 5. I'm going to turn off crown 1 and crown 2, crown 4, and crown 5. Now I'm going to move only the crown 3, which is the front crown. Okay. So this is the crown 3. I'm going to move the crown 3 alongside. Yep. So it's going to be something like this. Okay. So now let me do this. So I'm going to shuffle this in, drag this in, and drag this in. So this looks something like this, and then these ones will squash. I'm supposed to, for more details, I'm supposed to clip these ones, but okay, let's just clip it. Okay, back clip on work. So I'm just going to squash it. Alright, squash it. Move this forward and also squash it. Right. Okay, so let's just assume. Okay. Now we will do something similar for the diamond crown. There are other complex ways of doing it, but I'm trying to be as simple as possible. I'm trying to do it in the simplest form. We'll also squash the diamond crown. We'll squash it a bit. Yep, squash it and squash it. Right, so it reduces the size. So you have it like that, like that. Now we're going to use the linear motion. We're still going to use the linear motion for the other one as well. Good. So you can see the shifting. So everything goes properly. All right. Now, when the crown moves in this direction, the order, in fact, from so let's say from this side, we're going to be moving crown 1. All right, we're going to be moving crown 1. So crown 1 is going to kind of like reduce in size, right, and move a bit. So let's see how that goes. So it reduces in size, and it will, first of all, when it gets to this point, at this point we will still reduce it a bit, right, because here it's still going to be in front. But when it gets to 12, crown 1, where's the crown 1? Yeah, crown 1 will go behind the hair. Yep, so crown 1 goes behind the hair, something like this. When it gets to 12, I think it should even go behind the hair from 6. Let's let it go from here. So this is crown 1. It goes behind the hair, and then when it gets to, okay, this is 12. When it gets to 16, it moves this way. You might want to straighten it up a bit. Alright, so let's look at it. See that? So that's at this point it finally moves to the side. So it moves to the exact spot. Alright, so now crown 2 would go through the same process. Crown 2 would also go through the same process. We're going to turn it on now. So select all. Crown 2, when it gets to 6, at this stage crown 2 will move and reduce a little bit. Let's bring this down. Crown 2 will move and reduce a little bit. So when it gets to 12, crown 2 will move to this position and probably reduce a little bit. And then let's see that. So when it gets to 12, reduce it a little bit. When it gets to 18, crown 2 will also move to the back of the head and move this way. And when it gets to 12, crown 2 will shoot up a bit. So that's how to do a head sum. You can see it moving properly now. These are some of the complexities I was trying to avoid. But you can't avoid it. You have to do it. Now we get to the fourth crown, right? So when that one gets to frame 6, it moves a little bit. Now we can even trace it with the balls. So it moves to the second ball, which is this one. Say somewhere here. When it gets to frame 12, it still follows the second ball. Stays somewhere here. When it gets to frame 18, it stays with the second ball. When it finally gets to frame 24, it still stays with the second ball. Now, we talk about the frame 5, the crown 5. The crown 5 should be a bit easier because that will just stay, it will just stay with, and it becomes a bit bigger because it's facing us directly. So it turns out to be kind of bigger than usual. So we have this. So you can see the king just turning. So this is quite interesting. You can see the beauty of it. It's looking really beautiful. It's looking really beautiful, but the work is not quite simple. So, but I'm going to do something for all of the crowns. I'm going to use the linear motion. I'm going to use the linear motion for all of the crowns. Never forget that. It makes your animation perfect. So let's use the linear motion. Alright, so I'm going to do that for Alright, so if you move this, you can see it's very, very perfect. Everything is working perfectly. Except for the hair, let me just make a little adjustment here somewhere. Okay, and the ears as well. I just the ears should come also from frame 1, from frame 2. The left ear, what you see the left ear somewhere here. The left ear should be on the hair. So let's see this way. Okay, maybe we should just reduce the size of the hair at that point. Okay. At some point after this, the left ear has got to stay on the ears, on the hair. So we could just bring this back a little and then move the hair forward just a little. And the left ears as well, just make some little adjustment and then I think we're good to go. Alright, that's fair enough. So let's check it out. Frame. I think I should zoom this a bit closer. Okay, the left ear should still stay on that hair. Alright. It should still stay on the hair as we proceed. Alright, I think this is fair enough. So we are done with our head sound. So this is perfect. Okay, we're almost done. One more thing to consider, and that's the shadow, the shading. We turned that off because we needed to wrap up with. So let's check the shading. Okay, at this point the shading needs to be adjusted. For the shading, this is the shading. So let me just adjust it. Now we have to reduce the alignment somewhere here. Okay. For the shading, we will need to work on the line width. We do not really need the stroke, so I'm just going to take it out. I don't need the stroke, so I'm just going to take it out. Then check it again. Yep, I think this is fair enough. We could reduce the opacity even more, so it's not too obvious that the line has some. Yep, let's check out the yeah, this is cool. This is fair enough. The hair, we need to touch the hair later. So I'm gonna just go down to the hair. So if you can do this and you repeat the same process for the left side, all right, so it's facing right, so you can repeat the same process for the left. So if I take you back to the manipulate bone tool, I click on the manipulate bone tool and I do my head sound, you can see that it's turning perfectly well. All right, turning perfectly well. So we'll quickly repeat it for the left side, but before we do that, we'll do the head turn to the back. That's 360 head turn to the back. So let's just do the 360 head turn to the back. All right, so at this point I would click on the head bone, and then I will change the constraints. I'll change the constraints. Instead of 90, I would make it 180. All right. Instead of 90 here as well, I would still make it 180. I'll make it 180, and then I'll just click it. So if I come back here, by the time I get to this point, which is 90, I could still go another 24 frame to make it 48. Right, so I just move this down here. So that gives me a 360 head turn. So to make the head turn completely backwards, first thing first, I'll just go to the head layer. First thing first, let me go to the head layer. Where's the head layer? So that's the head layer right there. I'll go to the head layer and I'll just copy this and paste it here. Alright. So if I turn, okay, instead of just, I'll just then for the nose we'll use I'll turn off the crown, just turn off all the crown. Right. So for the nose, the nose would go straight. Oops. The nose would just go in straight up. For every other thing, um, like the beard, the eyes will just walk away. The eye would walk away. The left beard would also walk away. Um, the beard will go. Okay, we could take that out as well. But at this point, we are going to have a little issue because the beard is tied to the mouth. And so, if you take it this way, it's going to be a problem. So I'm going to bring it back. Okay, I'm just going to bring it back. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so at this point, so at frame 25, the nose should go to the back of the head. So let's look for the nose. Here is the nose. It should stay at the back of the head from frame 25. So the nose should go. The same thing happens to the mouth from frame 25. Or better still, let's do that from frame 26. The mouth should also go to the back of the head. Yep. So then okay, let's do this. Okay, I think it's making more sense now. We could turn up the right teddy and the left teddy for the now. We'll deal with all of that later. So we could have something like this. So from frame 26, okay. From frame 26, that's not from frame 28, the beard as well should go to the back of the head. So we have almost everything at the back of the head. Now let's bring up the left beard. Now at this time, the left beard will be sort of adjusted, but carefully, because when you move this, the hair also moves alongside, right? So, and the neck as well needs to be adjusted carefully. So the neck at this point, should be the same here. Should be the same. So when it's on like this, and then when it's on like this, so we should have the neck to be the same. But the hair, now let's talk about the hair. So where's the hair? Okay, this is the mouth, the nose, the eyes. So the hair should be somewhere at the top. This is always at the top. This is the hair. So we need to turn the hair on. Right, so when you turn completely, what should happen is the hair should move out. So the subtract should move completely out. Alright, and then you should have something like this. Okay, now there's something that we would do with this hair, with the head, right? So I'm going to go back and add something to the head that we did not add from the beginning. So let's add something to the head, and that would just be, let's say, a shape, like a circle shape. Let me move that a bit up. All right. So this circle shape is going to be pointless. No, not that. I mean this one. This circle shape is going to be without points, and it's going to have this, but it's going to have the color of the head. So if we are not getting the color of the head correctly, just go to copy the color of the head. We're still going to learn how to style, so but not now. Alright, so now for us we need to bind that shape to the head. So I'm just going to use, click on this, and of course select all of the points and bind. So that will take care of the issue that we're about to face in the head turn to the back. So when the head turns this way, alright, we start having this stroke. We will quickly bring in this guy to cover up the stroke. Alright, so you would not notice anything there anymore. But now let's talk about the hair. Let's quickly fix the hair. So this is the hair. Remember, at this point we do not have a reference, so we have to draw from our imagination, which is not always very easy. So you just have to draw from your imagination, which is not always very easy. So at this point we're just trying to, okay, so something seems to be going on here. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what this is. I'm trying to find out. Okay, let's I think this is the right. Okay, I think I know what it is. So the teddy bear is trying to express itself with this guy here. So this guy shouldn't for any reason meet up with the teddy bear, so it's just going to stay on its own. So I'm just going to squash this guy here, because we don't need it to touch the teddy bear, otherwise it will bring up. So when it gets to this point as well, it doesn't need to touch the teddy bear. It only needs to block the places where so it only needs to stay somewhere here where it can, override all of this, right? So I think this is good enough. Now let's make some adjustments. First, at this point we said the beard should go to the back, so we're going to take the beard, which is the mouth, because the beard is on its own, so we're going to take the beard to the back of the head. Take it to the back. Okay, so I can see where the issue is coming from. I know where the issue is coming from, and we'll try to fix it, but that would take another so what I'm just going to do is, when it gets to this point, right, when the beard gets to this point, I'm just going to fade it out. When it gets to this point, there's a reason for that. Just going to fade it out. There's a reason for that. It's going to start fading out, though at this point it should still be at 100%. Okay, but when it gets to this point, it reduces, but anything from this point, it fades out. I'm gonna fade it out. For some reason, I don't want to go through, take you guys through all of the stress. In our next tutorial, I'll fix that, and then I'll let you know how I did it. Because the neck should be in the head layer, but for some reason I don't want it there because it's going to waste our time. So right. So this goes. Yep, goes to the head again. There's a lot of work. So go to the head, and just like that, and then you have this. So that makes a perfect turn. Go back to the hair and make some correction. I think at this point we're done. Just a little correction here, and then here. Yes, back to now. So I'm just gonna use it like this. I'm still seeing this, so this is not supposed to be. So just know that if you go through this challenge, know that it is the extra addition of the head that you have here that is causing this. So you can just, we don't need it now, so we can squash it and keep it somewhere until it is needed, right? So we just keep it somewhere here. So from here you need it, okay, and bring it up, and then just like that, just like that, and just like that. I'm gonna copy all of this and put it at linear. Do the same for the shading. Put it at linear. So I think we're good to go, but we still have to deal with the crown and the left ear as well. I think I'm settled. Let's try to animate it. Let's just make some simple correction again. Okay. Make a little correction there. And again, the left cheek is hiding somewhere. Bring it up. Okay. So then, this left ear. Now that we're done with this, we just pick up the left ear, which is, I think, this one. Trying to be sure which one is the left ear now. So to be sure, I'll just, from this point, I'll just click on the left ear bone, which is this one, and then we elevate it through, so we know that is it. I just move it down, and then I will flip it. No, it's not a flip I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll flip it this way. Now move it down along, right, and then I will go back again and pick up the right ear bone. This is the right ear bone. So I just move it down like this and flip it up. So Alright, so the right ear bone is perfect where it is. With the left ear bone, I'm going to have to, okay, this should, okay, maybe I should just use the linear to make sure it's positioned in the right place. At this point, the left ear should be somewhere here, right? And then at this point, the left ear should be somewhere here or flipped. I'm going to have to wait till we get to that point briefly. So this time I'm going to have to move this stage by stage. The ear movement when it comes to back tone is always very tedious. You can see I'm going to have to go through all of this for other. So here I'm going to do something here. I'm going to click on the left ear. Something like this. And then this would move to the back of the head, sorry. And then we'll have it this way. So this is okay. Yep. And then one more thing, we will take out all of the lines, because these lines are not supposed to be displayed for the back ear. This is going to be like the back ear now. So we just leave that one. So animating a head sound for the king is not quite easy, because the king has a lot of styles and a lot of things that must be animated. Let's talk about the crown. I hope that won't take much time. So I'll turn on the crown. I'll start from the main crown, which is this one, and the diamond. So once it gets down to this point, right? Once it gets, let's make it here. The diamond would sort of move, right? But it will go to the back. At this point, it should go to the back of the hair and the head immediately, right? Now, and the crown might still stay. Let's turn on the crown one, not crown one. Let's turn on this crown, for instance. So at this point, let me bring back the other part of the crown that we pushed backwards. Before we even push it backwards, let's make sure that this is the crown 3. Okay, I'm looking for the diamond crown. Okay, we'll take it back up. Okay, take it back up. Alright, so at this point, let's move the diamond crown forward like this. Move it forward, but let it stay at the back of the crown, of the third crown. No, that's not what should stay at the back. Oops. This one should stay at the back of this. That is still move to the back of this one. Right, that's better. So let's say it keeps hold on. So let it down and stay with somewhere there. So when it moves down to this point, the crown 3 should move to the back completely. Alright, should move to the back completely. So yeah, that's fine then. Okay, let's see. It moves to this place, and we could do this, right? And then the diamond crown moves completely as well with the other part of the crown, right? And then okay, then we kind of squash this crown to fit into the head. So we have something like this, right? And then of course, even from here, take the front crown to the back of the head. And as for this one, move this completely out at this point. So when it gets to this place, the front goes completely to the back of the head. Now, let's see. Okay, so let's forget about that for now. We'll deal with that later on. Okay. Alright, so we have the diamond going to the back of the head as well. And then we have crown. Alright. Okay, so let's deal with the other parts of the crown. So we have crown 5 and crown 4. So let's talk about crown 4 first. So as we move this way, to the middle, crown 4 moves this way and sort of flips. Crown 5 does the same thing as well. Moves this way. Let's move crown 4 backwards a little. that's crown 2. Crown 1 should be first. And crown 2 was second. So you have this. But when it gets to this point, right, crown 4 is going to move to the side. Crown 4 will move to the side and then go to the back of the head. And then we move forward a bit. While crown 5 will move completely to the side and probably flip this way a bit. Alright, so I just need to push this one back in. Crown 1 will move to the side and probably flip this way. While crown 2 will also move to the side and flip this way. So crown 1 will come out. So let's crown 1. At this point, crown 1 should probably move to the top, somewhere here. Okay, let it stay still under the crown, but somewhere here. Okay, so we could make do with this for now. Yeah, so you have the king's face turning completely. This is not a simple tutorial, like you can see. It's really complex when you're dealing with a head like this with a lot of layers here and there. So you're going to repeat the same process for the other parts for the turning right. So if you want to turn the head right, you're going to repeat the other part. You can see, so let's say it sounds like this. We could still turn like this. We get back to frame 18. We turn a bit like this. We get to frame 24, and then we turn like this. Back to frame 27. Turn like this. Back to frame 20. Turn like this. You might just want to end it at frame 36. So just have this, right? But we are going to make sure, so you're just going to watch me do the other side. I'm not going to really explain, just follow the process. Try to watch the video over and over again. The other side of the beard is eating. Let me bring it out. So you have the right beard as well. So you can see, perfect. So just watch me as I do the second part of the tutorial. The second part, the right turn. This is just turning to the left. So you can see this. Good. So follow through as we flip the head to the other side. So for us to do the head turn to the other side, we need to create another head turn action. So create that, make sure that that just gives you head turn 2, and then we'll first of all create to 90 degrees. Better still, just move it down, right? And then we'll take it to 48. So we'll take it to 48, right? But at 24, we also create a frame there. So I'm just going to take it down to 48, okay? And then I can increase this to 100. Now, at 24, from 24, we're going to create the head turn to the right. So just follow the tutorial as I create the head turn to the right. Already you saw the way I created it to the left, so just follow the tutorial as I create it to the right. So I'm going to flip this image over to the left, flip that horizontal, and move it to the left. So let's see, move it to the left somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here. So let's see, I just want to make sure I'm on track so we can animate properly. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my ruler. Here's the ruler. I'm going to turn it on, make sure that everything is on point. Zoom it a bit, make sure that everything is on point. I can see that the beard of this guy is not sitting on the right spot, so I'm going to try to adjust it. Now something like this, if it's not completely perfect, but at least it should be a bit close to perfection. So let's do something like this. Anyway, we're not going to be using this guide directly, but it's just a guide. It's just a guide. So I'm going to do this. Make sure it's at frame 0. Flip it over. Just want to move this. Okay, so we'll just use this as a sample. A lot of adjustment will be made afterwards, so so let's get to the. So let's come down here. We get to frame 24, and then we start adjusting. So the first thing we're going to do, as usual, is to turn off all the layers. Turn everything off. Turn all the layers off. Turn everything off. And I notice that looks like the head is small compared to the other head. Let me do some adjustment before we finally get started. Something's missing. I'm just trying to find out what it is. The crown. Okay, so let's move this head. I don't think so. It's the same thing. So I'm okay with this. Let's turn everything off again. Turn everything off and 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 off. Turn everything off. Still turn off the nose, the eyes, the shading. Leave only the head. Alright? So leaving the head, we're going to zoom this closer. I'll click on the head. And then we might just move everything here, move everything here, move to the right. Good. To the right a bit. So start adjusting. This way. We might even want to turn up the head and do proper adjustment. Somewhere here, and then here, and then here. So use the curvature to cover the head and cover this part as well. When we cover this part, curl this part out a little bit. Okay. So when you move the head easily moves times and all of them. Let's try and check it out, see what it looks like. Okay. Now, we're going to click on the head on, then back a bit. So let's see what's closer. Alright. So at this point, we're going to turn on the head. Turn on the head. We want to turn on the eyes. We want to turn on the nose. We want to turn on the mouth. So let's get started. So we just push this mouse to make sure all of that is involved pushing. Good. So for the nose, like we did in the other one, we're going to adjustments. So right there. So Have you done? Okay. He will message me. I'm just waiting for him. He will message me because it's not his normal this thing that he used to do. It's your website, it's our website. It's not your website, it's our website. The new video I did, have I sent it? Yes, he sent some pictures now. He sent some pictures. Obstructive the videos that just So please subscribe to this channel for us to do more tutorials. This is just the first part of the tutorial. We're dealing with the head, but let me know what you think in the comment section. So I would love to do the full tutorial of the whole body turn and everything. So just drop your comment in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button, so that when I post a new video you'll be notified. Okay, your subscription would help us to do more. uh, uh, Also comments, your comment will increase the algorithm of our videos, just a way of encouraging us to do more. All right, so I'll be expecting your comment in the comment section. So as it stands, just follow through with the tutorial until the end. So just follow the steps one after the other until the end. One more time, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and also share as well with those that are